facility that was hit last week with that plane facility repairs. Yeah. Officials on the scene here, multiple fire departments all over, police, and neighbors, people around here were really just blasted from their homes. Just a short time ago, they were on the streets here. Some of them leaving, trying to talk to them, and they're trying to get out of this place. So you can tell the smell of fuel in the air. So again, you see the blazing flames coming out of this facility. Black smoke pouring into the air. It's been going now since those strikes happened a short time ago. So again, according to the mayor, who put it out on Twitter, he's saying he believes this was military. Air raid sirens went off. 3 strikes, he believes, possibly or probably some type of missile strike. But again, that is what is happening here. And he observed people to go down to those bunkers, to those bomb shelters that we have. Where we're staying, we have all over the city. Some of them they dug out. They just dug out since World War II. You can out here. I'm going to let you hear if you can hear it. There's a rumble of that's coming from this facility. If you listen closer here, the flame and the burning of that fuel. Same down here on the air.
Hey, Don. Don. All right, Don. If you can hear me, if you can hold your microphone close to your mouth or replace your microphone, guys. Everyone, this is live TV, so bear with us right now. Don Lemon and his team race to the scene where this explosion is, giving us a live report. One of the first reporters on the scene there, an explosion at a fuel depot. You can see the blaze. You can even for a moment hear the blaze there, the force of the fires there behind Don. Don is adjusting his microphone so we can hear more from him, but I'm pretty confident you heard what he was saying. You can see the firefighters on the scene there. You can see people there milling about. 3 blasts, and now this fuel storage facility on fire. The regional governor here says that he has heard reports of 5 people injured. They're still waiting for confirmation of that. So what you have there is an official statement, though not one with much certainty of injuries. You can see, look, this isn't far. I know this isn't far from the city because I was walking, a kilometer from it today. But it isn't in a residential area itself, right? Or it might be close to a residential area, but I don't know how close people would have been living to that facility there. Hey, Don, when you can hear me, when you're back up, let me know. You there, Don? All right, we're still waiting. We're still, Don can hear me. Don can hear me right now. And if you can talk, Don, how close is this to a residential area? Okay, Don, we can't hear Don's microphone, and it does appear like they're pushing people back from the fires right there, which is a reasonable thing to do. And we're seeing this right now, as we're seeing these fires burning in Lviv. This is Lviv. This is in western Ukraine, not far from the Polish border, an area that has been largely spared. And we're going to keep this picture up so people can see this. The fire blazing. You can see our Don Lemon on the scene now, getting some reporting. Don's going to chime in as soon as we get the communications equipment right. I'm going to bring in Frederick Plykin, who's in the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv right now. And Fred, obviously we have a situation ongoing here. You've been in the capital where there's been a lot more activity, exponentially more activity over the last several days. Ironically, you've been reporting that some people are starting to return to Kyiv because they get the sense that it may be at least moderately safer day by day than it was a few days ago.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Of course, that has to do with the fact that the Russian army is being pushed back by Ukrainian forces around the capital of Kyiv. But I think also the situation that Don is in right now, that fire that you're seeing there, certainly also plays into the situation that we have right here. Because one of the things that the U.S. has said, that the United Kingdom's defense ministry has also said, is that the Russians while they can't project much power here onto the capital and to other population centers as they were before because they're being pushed back, the U.S. says that the Russians are increasingly using what's called standoff weapons. So weapons that are fired from a distance at certain targets. And I think that's one of the things that you're probably seeing right here, right now, is them firing cruise missiles at strategic locations, areas that they believe are important to the Ukrainian war effort to try and disable those. We've seen that in the past couple of days. For instance, yesterday, we had a very similar situation to what you're seeing there right now in Lviv, when the Russians actually hit a fuel depot to the south of Kiev, of the Ukrainian capital, which they said at the time, the Russians said, was the largest one that was still in operation by the Ukrainian military, and they said that they had taken that out. Also yesterday, they also did hit the Air Force headquarters of the Ukrainian Air Force as well, John.
All right, Frederick Pleiken for us in Kyiv. I do believe we have Don Lemon back. And to our audience in the United States and around the world, bear with us right now. Communications are difficult, but Don Lemon at the scene of a Russian airstrike, apparently at some kind of fuel storage facility in Lviv. Don, give us a sense of what's going on behind you, how close this might be to a residential area, what you're seeing.
Yes, okay, great. So we moved back a little bit because you could hear the flames roaring, and what they're concerned about is another one of these tanks exploding, so they're pushing people back until they can get control of this blaze. You were mentioning how close it is to the neighborhood. It's really close to the neighborhood. It's on the other side. There's a little valley in here on the other side of a retention wall. Peter, if you could just go around just a little bit and show them how close this is to a neighborhood real quickly, and then we'll get back in the flames. So it's really, really close. This is a neighborhood where everyone has gathered, all of the rescue people, and they've done this on a number of different streets. So if you'll come back here. So we're, just within a tenth of a mile or so from where this is happening. But again, look at those flames. They're just roaring. Black smoke coming out of there. You can see them putting the fire retardant, spraying the fire retardant on this. But again, as you said, it is a chaotic scene. They're running fire hoses through this residential neighborhood, this retention wall, and then to the other side of that valley in tanks. Think of it as you will, for those of you who live near a chemical plant, you see these large round storage facilities that carry either fuel or grain or what have you. That is what is happening here. This is a fuel storage facility northeast of the city. Again, we're told it's not anywhere near where that blast went off just a couple of weeks ago when they hit that airplane repair facility. But again, I believe that this is owned by the government, you said? We're not sure, or maybe possibly the Chamber of Commerce. But again, it is a storage facility, and John, those flames are just roaring out of, I think, at least 2 of these tanks. And again, the concern is that another one will go off. I just want you to hear this. If you can hear this, John, let me know if you can hear these flames.
We can hear it.
And it was a loud sizzle just a moment ago when you were, just before you were talking to Frederick Pleiken there. But you could hear it just roaring. And considering the amount of hoses that I'm seeing from here, I'm sure there are some in other areas or some that are closer. It's going to be quite a while before they really get a hold and get this under control. What they're probably trying to do, or what they will try to do, is do some sort of controlled burn, or at least keep it from going to other tanks. But right now, you can see the firefighters and the rescue people racing in and now to where this fire, really the center of this fire, to try to get a hold of it. But yeah, it is chaos. We're in a situation, obviously not in the United States. Communications aren't very good. We're in the middle of a war zone, so there are some communication issues and technical issues, but this is what you're seeing here, and I just really want you to hear the roar of these chemical flames. And as I said earlier, John, you could smell the smell of chemicals and smoke in the air. We are downwind of it. And so the flames are blowing in the other direction, so we're able to get a clearer picture. If we were in the other direction, we would not be able to get a clearer picture of this. But I mean, from my vantage point of view, you can see it because our photographer, Peter, is probably pushed in on that fire. I mean, it is unbelievable, a spectacular chemical fire happening here. Again, the mayor and the the military, the minister of the military said they believe that it is 3 airstrikes on this facility. And we don't know when we're in these situations. That's why we're wearing this gear. If there will be another, when there might possibly be another, if this is, just to terrorize people, or we're not sure exactly what the strategy was. But as we heard yesterday from a Russian official, they were saying that they were going to pull back on this mission and just concentrate on the Donbass area. This is nowhere near that. And so I'm not quite sure what the strategy is here. And as I was speaking to people yesterday after the Russian official said that, they said they don't believe anything that Putin says or any of Putin's lackeys because they are ministers of disinformation or misinformation. So they would take a wait and see approach. And here's what we waited for, and here's what we're seeing right now, John.
No question about that. This is nowhere near the eastern part of the country, the Donbass region. This is about as far west as you can get. In fact, Don, it is worth noting to people that the city of Lviv, where you and I have both been, hasn't been touched by the war directly, barely. There was one strike just outside the city last week, one at a military base before that. This is by far the closest to the downtown area, very close, as you just showed us, to a residential area. This is a city that is teeming with people. You go out on the streets during the day and people are going about their everyday lives. They're shopping. There are street festivals, practically, it seems. I saw a wedding party being photographed a few hours ago, and now, just a short distance from that, this fire blazing right behind you, Don.
And John, just in the week that you and I have been here, we got here together, John and I arrived together. I saw the city, as you did, people trying to get back to normal. When I got here, it was darker. During our live shots at night, it was darker. They had a restriction on lighting, I am told. And then every night it seemed to be more people out, every day more people out. It seemed to be getting back to normal. And when I spoke to the mayor and other city officials earlier, I said, with the airstrike sirens going off, and people, are you concerned that they go off so much and that nothing happens, that people would become immune to them, and then if it was real, possibly real, that they would not take shelter in those bomb shelters and in those fallout facilities? And they said, yeah, that was a concern. And a couple of days after that, as we've been here, we've heard those air raid sirens going off with fewer frequency. There was one yesterday, and then there was this one this afternoon or this evening. So the mayor's urging this one is real. This had been seen as a relatively and now you have the city with almost a million people, 700,000 actually, since this is also 200,000 plus displaced people.
Yeah, John, I don't know if you see the police line. Is that your? I don't know if you.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Where we are.
One point that I do think is worth noting here is this was a daylight attack in the city, the western hub of activity near the Polish border, within a few hours of when President Biden is in Poland, set to deliver what the White House is billing as a major address. It's hard to imagine it's a coincidence, Don, that a strike in this city, is about as far west as you can get in Ukraine, happening so close to the president's speech. It may be that was part of the message.
I don't know if people search or think this is as far west. Yeah. And something that the city that had been a relatively safe haven said, but I mean, you have to take note. Not far from that. So, one must take note of that. It makes sense, but I'm not exactly sure that since we have had a couple strikes here on the air facility here. So I'm not sure, but this is really far west. Airstrikes are happening. And you have to remember, I'm not sure if there was some sort of reason. Maybe it is just fear. Maybe it's just to terrorize people. But you have to remember the eastern part of the country. They have been in Israel, and they've been coming here and said, well, we on Slovakia and Romania and Poland, and just to get out of here, you know, there's a difference though in or here citizens be with your supplies under the grain is all made from the eastern part closer to Russia. They don't go. They head into the facilities to take cover because they have been traumatized by this bombardment and by Russian terror before, if not this time from previous wars. So here we are, and they're still putting out this night. It's gonna, you know, nightfall is gonna happen shortly time. John, you're still at our facility, right, where we're doing our live shots, right? So you can see from your vantage point what is happening here. I can't see how much smoke is in the air because there's a building here, but I can definitely see the flames here and see the fire retardant that they're spraying on this chemical fire.
Yeah, there is a lot of smoke, Don. A lot of smoke filling the sky, and if that is a fuel depot, which it is behind you burning, it will burn all night. Don, you and your team, stay safe. We're going to let you do some reporting, find out more information on the ground there for a few minutes. Much more coming up. We're going to take a quick break. We're waiting to hear from President Biden over the border in Poland, about to deliver a major address. This is CNN's special live coverage. Stay with us.